Perfect fall weather for a perfect fall night here at Indian Hill. We got a soccer matchup on senior night. Finneytown visiting the Indian Hill Braves. I'm Ben Haller alongside my partner Savannah Libby. Savannah, are you excited for this game as I am?
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. You know, with it being senior night here for the Indian Hill at Shawnee Field, you know, how are you feeling about this?
You know, it's an interesting senior night because a lot of times you see a lot of players recognized, there's only 4 classes. You can fill a soccer team with about 20 players, but Indian Hill only has one senior that was recognized, so she's getting all the attention tonight. That's Annie Isfording. And she's
the officials assigned to this contest
have been also one of the best players, defender for the Braves. She's played a couple different positions so far this year, and she can really do it all.
Thomas Fry and Robert Trout.
We're going to take a look at some keys to the game. And a big theme of this game is both teams are very young. We talked about the one senior for Indian Hill. Finneytown, they don't have a whole lot. They don't have a lot more either. So it's a look into the future for both teams. Finneytown's really got to limit the shots on goal. If you're Indian Hill, your second win on senior night, only one senior, and that's the fewest since 2006 we already talked about.
Yeah, I think another thing that you need to consider is that, you know, not only with this young lineup, but most of it is sophomores. And those underclassmen, they don't have as much experience as a senior would that's been developed in the program, or a junior, just because they haven't had enough playing time yet. I mean, and last year was kind of a COVID year, so everything was kind of out of whack. They're getting used to playing with, you know, more regulated fans.
Yeah, Annie Eastfording, the one senior for Indian Hill. We also look for Josie Pickens on Finneytown's side. She's only a sophomore, but she's one of their best players. And Indian Hill is immediately going to take control for a corner. So we're just 25 seconds into the game, and Indian Hill's got their first corner.
Braves corner.
What they felt they really needed to do was control the time of possession. And this is a good start to serve the corner kick.
You're going to miss that one.
That was Emerson Evans. Indian Hill controlling it once again. Going to play around across the middle, trying to get into the attacking third. Finneytown trying to take over. Bounce around out of bounds. Going to be a throw in for Indian Hill. Throwing that in. Trying to get it to the attacking third. We've seen that a couple times early in this game. They got that early corner kick. You know, they're a team that hasn't won a whole lot of games. They're 1-5-4 on the season. Only one win in the CHL. When we look at their starting lineup, first their defense. We talked about who we're looking for. Eastfording, the only senior on senior night. Kira Erickson going to take a lot of responsibility as the keeper for Indian Hill. They serve one up. That was going to be hit over the net. Let's look at their offense. Consolino and Fiore, 2 ones we're looking at tonight.
Out on the Braves, goal kick.
Indian Hill, their second win of the season. As we look at the opportunity that they had up the floor from Fiore. Serves it perfectly across the middle to Varetti, but Varetti wasn't able to capitalize. Indian Hill controlling again. Dancing around in the corner. Another good look, but a nice save by the keeper.
Nice save by the keeper. Be a Brave corner.
And we're about 2 minutes and a half into this contest. We've seen 2 corners from Indian Hill already. A nice cross. We've seen a couple of good moves there from Fiore so far today. But this time, it's a shot on goal, and Ward able to get there. Finneytown trying to clear.
No, just visibly looking at the field. Finneytown doesn't have as much size or strength, just compared to this Indian Hill team. And you know, you can see it in how their ball control is, where they're able to get their kicks, and it's not looking exactly, you know, probably as they had planned for this game.
Indian Hill's passing around on the other side of the field. We're going to take a look at Finneytown
Throwing
starting
Wildcats.
lineup. Sophie Ward, the keeper. We saw her have a nice save. She leads that defense. On the offensive side, we talked about our player to watch, Josie Pickens, teaming up with Allison Sanders. Makes for a good offense for Team Finneytown. They're looking for their 4th win of the season.
Quinn with the throw-in for the Braves.
Better overall record than Indian Hill, but Indian Hill does have 1 win in the CHL. Finneytown yet to find it. Indian Hill's
Quinn with the throw-in.
controlled the ball so far for the first 4.5. There'll be another throw-in. We've seen a couple of corners. We're going to wait the call. But
Braves
it'll be
corner.
a 3rd corner for
It'll be Evans with the corner.
Another good look, trying to find the corner of the net. And there's going to be a whistle before. And it's going to be an offsides. So it looked like Lizzie Consolino had the first goal.
Goal
of the
is
game,
waved off for the Braves.
but the official's going to take that one away. Sophie Ward, fortunate there. Getting it inside the 18, Finneytown trying to clear.
Their focus right now should probably be on, you know, ball control, seeing what they can do, trying to get around, not letting this Indian Hill team just dominate.
Trying to chase it down and able to. It's Mia Fiore. We've seen a few good moves from her today.
You know, most of these just it's coming down to hustle plays, and you know Finneytown right now, they look like they're in their head and they're not really quite, you know, grasping on it. And that was that last play by Mia Fiore, like, you know, it was just kind of who wanted it more.
Going to be a throw in for Lindbergh. The numbers for the Braves weren't there. Now pass middle field towards the center circle. Trying to serve it inside once again. Emerson Evans tries to keep it. It'll be sent through the corner, and this time Fiore can't quite get there. It'll be a throw in deep in their own territory for Finneytown. We haven't seen the ball a whole lot on the Indian Hill side of the field. Finneytown looks like they're playing more defensive. Over towards the flank, trying to get it inside.
Indian Hill bringing it down, bringing it over. Was able to. Erickson was able to get that one.
It was a nice save from Sophie Ward. She's had her work cut out for her so far. It's around side. Mia Fiore, excuse me. That was Lizzie Consolino. It looked from here like it crossed the line. Officials have different point of view. Inside once again. That's going to be cleared for another Braves corner.
Braves with the corner. Emerson
Picked
Evans.
out by Bashima Magar from Finneytown.
So Indian Hill looking to finally capitalize on one of those corners.
Looks like they're waiting on the officials.
Served up and the header goes the opposite way.
Just a little bit too much power. Just need to focus it.
Esperdine kicks it out of bounds. Goal kick. Wildcats.
Story of the night, the sole senior on senior night. Going to be too strong on her first shot attempt.
I think the Braves, especially on this offensive side, need to work on, more communication. I think they could have, had that goal if just a little bit more.
Fiore getting up to the top to Lindbergh. Indian Hill dancing around center circle once again. Transporting it to the right flank. Trying to push it inside. Looks like Consolino lost control for a second. Finally able to find Evans. And the rip off the top of the crossbar from Lindbergh. So Indian Hills had their opportunities. See that one placed perfectly for Lindbergh. She had time and she had room. Just off the crossbar. And cleared by Finneytown. But anytime Finneytown's had a goal kick, they haven't been able to control it.
I think part of that is, there's a lot of just miscommunication. It is a young team, and they haven't worked together collectively, for a while, and they have a 1-5-4 record. So, I think they need to work on that.
Served up the middle, off the hands of Ward, and finds the back of the net. So Indian Hill.
Senior Annie Esperdine with the goal.
Annie Esperdine, the only senior on senior night in the 10th minute, able to put one in and put Indian Hill up 1-0. On an unorthodox play. Looked like Sophie Ward had control of it. 2020 first team All-Ohio. We talked about not only is she the only senior, but one of the best players for Indian Hill. They won the CHL championship in 2019, her sophomore year. Not having quite as strong of a year this year. But they're looking strong tonight. 1-0 lead over Finneytown. They're looking to attack once again. Evans tried to get it inside. Getting it down to the wing. Isfording. Nice pass over. Fiore with it now. Fiore gets a nice shot, but Sophie Ward rebounds from the last miscue and is able to force another corner kick. We're going to take a look at the goal once again. Sophie Ward, it was placed perfectly right to her, but she wasn't able to hang on.
It's going to be a kick in.
Corner kick. The header just a little too strong in the other direction, trying to chase it down, but not able to. Isfording, it was a free kick for her. And I don't think anyone really expected
it to go all the way, across the field and into the goal.
Looked like Sophie Ward was in perfect position. Trying to get it inside once again. across the field. Taking it inside. Church. Inside the 18 now, off the thigh of Ward. And Ward's finally able to control it.
Keeper saves Singer's attempt.
That was Singer. It looked like she had a good attempt. But once again, anytime Ward's been able to keep possession, it changes in the Braves' favor immediately after.
And have Istriding the ball. Just gonna pass it out. Back in towards center, towards Emerson.
Emerson Evans. Across the middle. And Singer off the right post. And a nice job by Ward to corral that one.
Singer's
had a couple good really attempts
Last two close looks.
so far. We're going to take a look at him. A nice cross there, but Sophie Ward's in perfect position once again. This time able to stop it. And then it's the right crossbar, the enemy of Singer in this one. Once again, kept with Indian Hill.
Wildcat throw.
You know, 6-7 minutes ago, we talked about how the ball really at all hadn't been on Indian Hill's side of the field. And the same reigns true.
Looks like Finneytown's just trying to do whatever they can to try to get the ball off of, off of their own side of the field, especially with how much Indian Hill is just taking over this game.
I think that was ready to try to cross it there. Just led it too far to her right, out of bounds. Inside now, Finneytown. There's going to be a whistle. And it will be a foul on Indian Hill. We're going to see what Finneytown can do here with a free kick.
Bring it downfield. You have Isfording going down, trying to get it. Just going to pass it back to their goalkeeper, Kira Erickson.
Indian Hill immediately getting it back to Finneytown's side of the field. But some miscommunication there.
Liz Castellino was just trying to look open for her teammate and just didn't get the quite right angle. The Fiore. Pass back to Fiore.
Nice cross by Fiore. She's controlled it pretty well today.
Back to Consolino. It's going to go over to the other side of the field. Bringing it down.
Over on the right side, trying to find Evans in the middle.
Finneytown just catching Indian Hill off guard. Just going to try to see what they can do. And Indian Hill gains possession back. That's
we out of bounds for the Finneytown throw in.
It's going to be a Finneytown ball.
Throwing in this one's going to be Sabrina McGar. Going to get over outside. Indian Hill controls again. Back on top is Footing. Serves it across the middle. All the way to the left side. That one.
Throw Wildcats.
Out of bounds. Finneytown throwing this time. On the opposite side.
Looks like there was a push. It's going to be Finneytown ball.
Praise foul.
Foul on Indian Hill. The free kick going to be taken here by Amisha McGar. She's just going to lost that one to get it back.
Consolino. She's going to go over.
Gives off for her teammate, Evans. And Evans
Shot just wide. Into the game for the Braves, number 2, Olivia Dowling. Number 13, Anna Joseph. And number 20, Hope Levlin.
Dowling, Joseph, and
Replaces Varsity,
checking for the hit.
Quinn, and Evans.
Not you, just me. Indian Hill holding a 1-0 lead over Finneytown. 21:37 left to go in the first half. We're about halfway through the first half.
It looks like they're
There's a Wildcat needing medical attention.
she seems to be walking off the field. Looks like they're gonna put in
Let's put Green and McGar being taken off the field. Indian Hill and Finneytown trainer attending.
Preeti Tamang is gonna be put back on the field.
So our Finneytown player to watch, we haven't been able to see her much today because the ball hasn't been on Indian Hill's side a whole lot. But Josie Pickens, she's tied for 7th in goals in the CHL, 5 goals with 3 assists. She's only one of 3 underclassmen in the CHL to be top 10 in goals. She's only a sophomore. You see her playing a little bit of defense there too.
So she's gonna pass it over.
Inside, Mia Fiore dancing around. Gonna get inside the 18, lofted, but the header too strong.
Offsides is the call.
There's also an offsides call. So that's just gonna go to Finneytown. We'll see if this time they'll be able to do anything with the goal kick. Excuse me, the free kick coming from Agar. Possession once again controlled by Indian Hill. Fiore dancing around on the right side. The righty kick deflected off the body of the Wildcat.
It's gonna hit Preeti Tamang right in the face.
And off the flank, Sophie Ward just whiffed at it. And Indian Hill's got a 2-0 lead.
Braves goal number 2, Olivia Dowling.
Olivia Dowling, just minutes after checking in for the first time in this one, is able to find her first goal, the second of the night for the Braves. About halfway through the first half, and 2-0.
To recognize and
Indian
celebrate
Hill
our lone
controlled
senior
every
number 4
aspect of
Annie
the game.
Iserman.
And Sophie Ward just whiffed. Once again, she was in good position.
Looks like Ward was trying to go for it, but couldn't quite get there. It's gonna be Finneytown ball. Gonna pass it out, trying to work their way in there. Gonna pass it back, trying to get around those Indian Hill defenders.
Over on the right side, finally getting inside the 18. Indian Hill looked to clear. Finneytown looked to clear, but Indian Hill prevented that. Trying to get to the right wing. Fired inside. Got past
Shot
Ward,
just
but just a
wide.
little left of the goal. Fortunate for Ward.
Looks like Ward's gonna take it back up. Once again, you're gonna have Kamisha McGar pass it out. It's gonna be Indian Hill's ball.
McGar on the free kick. Finneytown hasn't done a great job of clearing today.
We have Pickens. Pass it out. It's going to go over to...
For one of the first times today, they're able to get it towards midfield. But Indian Hill intercepts immediately after. Now dancing around, the attacking third for Indian Hill. The shot, a nice deflection from Finneytown, from Dowling.
Corner, Braves. Fiore with the corner.
Mia Fiore to take the corner for the Braves. Gonna look inside. Miscommunication from Finneytown and back of the net once again. So a 3-0 start
Braves
for
goal
Indian
number
Hill.
5, Rose Vigran.
Rose Vigran. Gets Indian Hill out on top. Some extra insurance for the Braves. 17:57 left to go. We've said it before, we'll say it again. Indian Hill has controlled every aspect of the game, finally able to score on a corner. All it took was a little tap in the right spot. And back at it, Indian Hill got an opportunity. Fiore just dumps it off in the back left corner of the net. This time, Mia Fiore, everyone's getting in on the action.
Braves goal
Indian
number
Hill's up
9,
4-0.
Mia Fiore.
Just 10 seconds after they got their third goal.
Into the game for the Braves, number 7, Katie Yanis-Deal. Number 3, Lizzie Consolino.
Steele and Consolino checking in for the Braves. Take a look, Fiore just used her speed and nice patience to wait and make Ward guess and just dump it off in the left corner. So Indian Hill's looking for their second win of the season. And they're up 4-0 with 17 minutes to go in the first half. Finneytown finally able to advance the ball just a little bit. Indian Hill takes that right back. Pass up to Fiore, intercepted.
He is Fording with the ball. He's going to pass it out. Can't quite get there. It's going to be Finneytown ball.
Throw in for Finneytown. Dancing around. Try to clear it towards center field. Midfield, and
It's going to go out. Couldn't quite get there. Wasn't anyone really there from the Indian Hill team that could.
it's a pretty good turnout for senior night. There is only one senior that we're celebrating, Annie Eastfording. She's already got a goal in tonight's game. Indian Hill and Finneytown, both very young teams. Both have bright futures.
Misha McGar with the ball. Once again, going to kick it in. It's going to go out. That's going to be Indian Hill ball. So a little bit too much power there. Couldn't quite get there.
The throw-in coming towards the right wing. The cross across the middle. And it goes a little bit too far to the right. The opposite side she wanted it to go. Out of bounds. We'll give Finneytown another goal kick. McGar's been taking all these goal kicks.
We have Sporting with the ball. She's going to pass it over.
Trying to find inside. Looks like that may have been Consolino. Across the middle, off the hands of Ward. And way too strong over the net.
Looks like that's going to hit
Defense
the
kicks the
tree.
ball out of bounds. It'll be a Braves corner.
We'll give Indian Hill
Isfording
another
with the corner.
kick. This time the senior Isfording's going to take it. Nailed across the middle. Indian Hill trying to set up and get something inside. Finally inside the 18, the lefty kick. Back right of the corner.
That's going to be a goal for Pamisha McGar.
Braves goal number 16, Jordan Church.
For Indian Hill.
Into the game for the Braves, number
Puts Indian
22,
Hill at
Ellery
5.
Bailey.
14:05 still to go, and only the first half. As we're going to see here, Church gets it just inside the 18. Doing a good job to draw the defense and dump it off, and Ward just couldn't get there. As you can see the reaction from the Braves faithful. Pretty good showing tonight on and off the field. I mean, they've spent almost the entire game inside in their own attacking third.
Finneytown tries to take back control. It's going to be Indian Hill ball, and they kick it out.
Braves
First
throw.
throw-in's going to come from Hope Ledwin. Indian Hill threatening again. Inside the 18, looks like Finneytown had control for a little bit, but they got a man inside. A nice defense from Finneytown, finally scooped up.
Dowling
By
shot
Ward.
is saved.
Looks like Dowling had a chance. See off her chest. But then there were 3 Finneytown defenders right there, and it was the last one in line to clean it up. Throw-in coming for Finneytown. Isfording's going to do a nice job of coming in to control it. And it's gonna be
Isfording
another
in the corner.
for Indian Hill. The second one in a row that's taken by Isfording. See if she can get the same result out of it. The header inside the 18. Finneytown tried to clear. Indian Hill content to bring it back out. Still keeping it in their attacking third. Good to the right wing. Inside now. Right side, Sophie Ward controls it. She's had her fair share of saves today. She's had her work cut out for her, that's for sure.
Isfording with the ball. Gonna kick it over to Church.
Gonna cross inside. Church tries to find the top right corner.
Shot just wide.
She's too strong. Giving the Wildcats a goal kick.
10:21 left on the clock.
So we've played 30 here at Indian Hill on senior night. And Isfording's had himself a game. Usually known as a defender, but she hasn't had to play a lot of defense today and even has a goal of her own.
Isfording back with the ball. She's going to pass it out to Castellino. It's going to go out to Church. Church is going to look over.
Even while being down 5-0, Indian Hill showing no sign of slowing down, but as you can see there's an offensive foul. I believe that was for Isfording.
It's going to be a kick for Josie Pickens.
So Pickens, the star for Finneytown, hasn't had a lot of opportunities today, but she takes that free kick.
Pass it back out to Church. Church is looking over. Go down to Isfording. Isfording's going to pass it. Isfording has it once again. Bring it over
Outside the 18, the shot too far to the left. That one had some distance. But
Wholesale
Isfording isn't able to
substitution for the
capitalize.
Braves. Back in for the Wildcats.
And there's a plethora of substitutions for Indian Hill.
Indian Hill still up 5-0 with 8:25 left on the clock.
Goal kick from Finneytown.
Finneytown's going to take control of that. Passing it out, looking downfield. Looks like they have a little bit of momentum. Going to cross her up. Pickens, the assist.
Got it towards the flank. Looks like they're trying to get it down to the left wing. A look inside. Indian Hill having to play defense for the first time in a while tonight. Under 8 minutes to go now in the half.
Indian Hill looking downfield. Crosses her up. Gonna go out. Just gonna pass it down. Finneytown is the ball. Indian Hill gains control. Looking down. It's gonna be
Down to the right wing. Cross across the middle. Isfording left it off for her teammate. Is going to be way too strong on that one. From Karis Ferretti. Another goal kick. No different than the others with Madang taking all of them. Looking inside and to the right from Emerson Evans.
Number 9, Mia Fiore back in the game.
Fiore coming back in for the Indians.
once again they're gonna have Hamisha McGar, the goal kick. It's gonna go out, and Isfording is gonna pass it, and that's gonna be a goal.
A beautiful shot just outside of the 18, 6-0 for Indian Hill.
6:01 left.
Braves goal number 5, Rose Vigran.
Rose Vigran off the assist from Isfording. And with 6 minutes to go, we've played 34. And Indian Hill has controlled all 34 of those minutes. As you see Vigran just finding a perfect opportunity and a perfect hole. Sophie Ward wasn't able to get there. Finneytown hasn't had their opportunities, so they're trying to push while they can. But it looks like Indian Hill's going to take over once again.
Switching the ball, getting down. They go out to the side of the field, trying to come in.
They're going to get it just off the right wing, but she lost control. Giving Finneytown another goal kick. Over on the left side, it's given right back to the Braves. That seemed to be a common theme all night.
They pass it back. It's going to go just out. It's going to be Finneytown ball.
So Finneytown, who does have 3 wins on the season, none of those coming in CHL play, getting shut out by the score of 2 hat tricks, 6-0 now. We are under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Looks a lot like that Mason versus Hamilton boys soccer game we saw last night. Mason winning that one 10-0 over Hamilton. Getting it over inside the wing. They'll pass it back out.
Go to Indian Hill. It's going to go back to Church. Church is looking over. Pass it
Indian Hill
downfield.
still trying to push. Over on the left side, the crossover. Good defense by Finneytown, trying to clean it up off the arms of Ward, but put right back in.
It's going to be
Mia Fiore, her second goal of the game. Putting
Braves
Indian
goal
Hill
number
up by
9,
7.
Mia Fiore. Hey fans, we ask at the half to please stay off the field for our senior day presentation.
Fiore has her 2 goals, and she's played a large part in a lot more than just those 2. Off the body of Madal. And then off the arms of Ward. Fiore does a nice job of coming in and cleaning it up. Drawing Ward all the way out of the keeper's box. And Mia Fiore's had herself a game. It's only the first half, 3:20 left to go.
Espriding's going to pass it out. It's going to go over to some of the underclassmen. Church once again. Some nice ball movement. And downfield. It's going to go to Lindenberg. Back again to Church, over to Isfriding. Going down.
Towards the left side on the wing.
Evans is going to pass it over.
And it looks like Indian Hill's sense of urgency has gone down just a little bit after that 7th goal. And it's only the first half.
Looks like it's going to go over to the other side of the field. Trying to get some more ball movement, run down the clock a little bit. Isfriding is trying to go for it.
Fight for it inside. To be cleared by Finneytown. And it'll just give Indian Hill a throw in deep in the corner.
Just under 2 minutes left in this second half.
Tamang did a good job clearing that one.
In this first half. Indian Hill still up 7-0.
So Indian Hill's controlled every aspect of this game. They've kept the ball in their attacking third for a good chunk of this game. Haven't had to play a lot of defense and have had even more opportunities than the 7 goals they've already scored.
Gonna pass it back over to Church. Church kind of acting as a leader on the ball control here. Back. Gonna pass it back to Erickson.
Indian Hill content to keep it on their own half of the field in the final minute.
1 minute.
Might look for one more attack. And the keeper, Kira Erickson, hasn't had a whole lot of action for Indian Hill today. Kind of a boring night in the pitch, at least for the first half. Under 40 seconds to go now, 7-0 still.
Church and Erickson going back and forth with the ball. Gonna pass it up. Isfording. Back over to Church.
15 seconds to go. Indian Hill looks like now for the first half just running out the clock. As we're under 5 seconds, and that'll do it for the first half of Senior Night at Indian Hill.
We would like to invite Rich and Elizabeth down to the concession stand.
Off a couple
Get
goals
ready
from
for
Mia
our Senior
Fiore.
Day presentation.
They're going to honor the one senior tonight, Annie Isfording. And Indian Hill honoring her like that just by the score. 7-0 Indian Hill. As we look at it, Isfording's goal tonight.
Leaves us with the next item on our agenda is item number 5, opening session.
I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. If you're out here at the parade or listening, thank you again.
Into the end zone, and that is caught by Jaden Wood.
Come on now, how we doing? Y'all feeling all right out there?
Hello and welcome to this edition of This is Glendale. I'm Bet Chorus.
Hey guys, this is the Unit 1 crew from Woodlawn Fire Department. We just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
And of course, you can always go to icrctv.com.
Always a great day when ICRC is involved.
Another edition of ICRC, bringing the community to you.
All right, up next is from the Spicin Food Company. It's the bomb beyond insanity. It's 135,600 Scoville. So
compared to, what was the last one?
116.
This is 135.
135.
It's nothing.
But it hits differently if you've ever seen.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of love for that sauce. All right, I'm gonna ask you to place these items in order from best to worst and kind of tell me why you put them there. The Muppets, Doctor Who, Green Lantern, and Star Wars.
That, it's like asking you to choose between your children.
What's at the top?
At the top is probably Green Lantern, because that's been like Big passion of mine since I was about 10 years old. Then the Muppets. Whew. Forgive me, I'm getting emotional. Then Star Wars, then Doctor Who. I really tried to get into Doctor Who, and I guess I failed. Maybe I just had too many realms that I was involved with and just couldn't quite get as into it as others, but yeah.
All right. Moving along, the Dingo Sauce Company Widowmaker hot sauce is next. 682,000 Scoville.
I'm sorry. 682?
Mm-hmm.
The National Award-winning Mason High School Marching Band is composed of over 300 students. In grades 9 through 12, they are proud to represent the city of Mason at home football games, competitions, and community events like the Heritage Festival Parade.
yeah, you don't care. Oh, baby, baby, no, don't figure. She's got an itchy trigger finger. Well, that's not love. Well, that's not love. Well, that's not love. That's not love. So everybody doing room for zero from right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, right here.
Hey, sports fan! Did you know the OHSAA is among the national leaders in social media? Check out the OHSAA's social media platforms for news, tournament information, accomplishments, helpful links, and all the items available in the fan guide, including photos, DVDs, and publications. Check out OHSAA Sports on Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And who knows, you may be the next featured face.
Senior night for the Indian Hill Braves, and a lot of things going their way in the first half. Their lone senior, Annie Isfording, had one of the 7 goals for the Braves. And we only stand at halftime. They also shut out Finneytown. Finneytown not getting a lot of opportunities so far. I'm Ben Haller alongside Savannah Libby. Savannah, what are your thoughts on this game so far?
You know, I think this was a good game, especially for senior night and especially for Isfording. I think this Indian Hill team, you know, it's a good game that, you know, they can just get more experience. They can bring up some of the more unexperienced underclassmen, considering, you know, how young their team is and how much is, you know, going on for both of these teams. And then, you know, they're up 7-0 already. So I mean, if they wanted to, they can put in some of the people that don't get as much playing time, try to give them opportunities. This is a good way and a good game for the coaches to give some of the players on the bench, you know, more experience. And just you know, for teamwork, it's a good way to practice communication, just all sorts of things.
Yeah, the only Brave that has multiple goals in this one, Mia Fiore, when we talked about, she scored 2. She's also been involved in a lot more than 2. Indian Hill is only 1-5-4 on the season. They're looking for their 2nd win of the year. That's 1-2-1 in the CHL. As for Finneytown, more total wins at 3-7, but none of those coming in CHL play. As you can watch this game back on TV at those listed dates and times.
It's going to go to out. It's like they have in most of the younger players, Indian Hill does.
Yeah, 2 young teams, a big theme of this game. We're going to take a bright look at the future for both schools. Time of possession tonight, something Finneytown really wanted to control, has been controlled by Indian Hill. Great night for Indian Hill, and also a great broadcast put on by ICRC TV. They are looking for volunteers. We can need you anywhere from working a camera, doing announcing like you and I. It's a beautiful night. And what better way to spend it than on a broadcast with perfect weather at Indian Hill?
It's like Isfording has the ball.
As Indian Hill's going for their 8th goal. Crossing it across the middle and right to Sophie Ward. No Braves gonna be able to rebound. So Ward takes control.
Looks like Finneytown's going to try to get in there a little bit, not seeming to gain much possession.
As we can take a look at other things going on in the soccer world right now. MLS battle for the wooden spoon, the two last place teams in FC Cincinnati and Toronto. It is halftime and FC holds a 1-0 lead. Winnings, not a whole lot you see for the FCC squad. Just recently fired their head coach and stop. Hopefully they can see if that changes the tide a little. Throw in coming for Indian Hill. You know, it seems to be a common theme with Cincinnati sports is just not quite getting there. You know, you got the coaching carousel in a lot of different sports. Across the middle, and it finds the left side of the net. So a weird angle that looked like it had no shot.
Senior number 4.
And finds some daylight. The second goal from the senior, Annie Isfording. And it's now an 8-0 lead for Indian Hill. Isfording, nice crossover. And she's living on the baseline. Don't know how she put it in from that angle. She just had a sliver of room, and she nailed it.
Coming off a halftime, her mind's right, you know, just prepared.
Take a look at her again. It's her 40th career game. Only senior on the squad. She was on that 2019 Indian Hill CHL winning team. First team All-State last year. Finneytown now. They don't look like they have a whole lot of intent to attack, but they've got numbers now. It's going to be taken away. Amanda Joseph.
It's like Isfording's going to bring it back downfield. Looking to her left to Casalino. Casalino's going to look down. Just going a little far out to the side. Going to pass it back to Isfording. Isfording looking around. None of her teammates are quite there.
A nice move by Isfording over on the right wing in the same spot she scored that last goal this time. It's going to head out of bounds. Officials say there was no deflection.
Looks like you're going to have Sophie Ward kicking it out to her Finneytown teammates.
Just like a lot of those goal kicks we saw in the first half, Indian Hill switches it up and takes possession. A chase down in the corner coming from Consolino. She's making it tough.
You know, Indian Hill, for it being such a, you know, an interesting matchup coming to this game, being senior night, they have a pretty good turnout for their student section. They have a lot of parents here. You know, most of the Finneytown parents have left. You know, the team still has a lot of energy. They're still fighting on every play, and I think that's just something important. And I think that, you know, Isfording is probably doing a good job with her senior leadership, and there's a lot of just, you know, there's a lot happening on the field kind of all the time. There's a lot of communication between these Indian Hill girls, and I think it's part of it's also like they're under the lights, even though it is like just a Wednesday night. They're still giving it their all and playing and hustling on every play, and that's extremely important. And just another thing is that the field that they're playing on, like it's a nice field. There's a lot of like room, and I feel like part of it's also because the bleachers are closer to the field. The players are feeling the impact of the fans a lot more, and I think that's helping and impacting how they're playing tonight.
Yeah, it's hard in a blowout like this to keep your head in the game, keep 100% focus, but they've showed no sign of stopping tonight. We're about 7 minutes into the second half. They took a 7-0 lead into halftime, and immediately the senior Isfording.
Castellino has the ball.
Consolino trying to cross it inside the box.
It's going to be a goal kick. They're going to have Isfording kick this one.
Corner kick coming from Isfording. She's kicked the last few. Trying to cross it outside of the goal. So Indian Hill still showing a little bit of a sense of urgency and that energy that you were talking about earlier. Finneytown's been doing anything to stop the momentum.
Isfording's going to pass it out. You look downfield. Finneytown defenders kind of close in. Can't quite get it. Isfording's in control once again. And just try to move the ball around, try to run down the clock a little bit.
Isfording, the three-sport athlete, 2 goals today on the soccer field. She can play a little bit on the hardwood too, a basketball player. And rounds it out with track.
It's not easy being a 4x8 and 4x4 runner. You have to have a lot of speed that you can maintain consistently. And, I think we're seeing that in this game. And I think, running track definitely helps her in soccer. It helps her develop her speed and develop as an overall athlete. And I think most of, being on a varsity track team is athleticism, and it's work, and it's the time that you put in. And then it's, part of it's also the coaching. So it says something that she's able to, have a 4.69 GPA and also be able to, year-round play sports. And Isfording's also committed to John Hopkins. She's going to play soccer there next year. Has a major in biology and a focus in pre-med. So that's also something that you don't see every day with the, let alone a 1-sport athlete, not even a 3-sport athlete.
The pass in coming from Consolino. And Isfording can't control, but yeah, you touched on it perfectly. The thing she has to balance, I can't imagine. Finneytown finally showing a little bit of an attack, trying to get it to their attacking third, but they can't get it past midfield.
Pass it back to Isfording. Looking around, gonna pass it back, trying to, just keep ball control, but still at the same time, remain competitive and try to run down the clock a little bit.
Isfording down to the wing, finding it inside.
Consolino.
With an 8-0 lead, 29-16 left to go in this match. I want to give a shout out to Bill Bretz, longtime announcer with us at ICRC, in his 40th season of broadcasting with us. And he showed out, he's put the time in. You know, it's very time consuming. And to show that effort, the CHL Sports Information Director for a long time wrote his last posts on CHLSsports.com this week before retiring. So impressive career from Bill Bretz.
Indian Hill with the ball. Going to keep ball control even past a few of the Finneytown defenders. Is Redding with the ball once again. Tried for a goal kick, got blocked. That seemed to have hit her right in the stomach.
There's going to be an injury. There's a Wildcat down around the 18. And we're going to head to a quick break. Dominating performance so far. 27 minutes left to go. Indian Hill up 8-0.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC TV.
Hi, I'm Clark Kellogg. I've attended basketball games from coast to coast over the years as a participant, broadcaster, parent, and fan. And believe me, I've seen my share of unsporting behavior. The purpose of school sports is for kids to have fun, develop their skills, and learn lessons that will last a lifetime. So when you attend a school contest, please keep that in mind. Remember to behave in a way that reflects positively on your child, your school, and your community. Let's respect the game.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Both teams have taken the field. We're just about ready to get the season underway.
ICRC Friday Night Football. We are back here.
Brings a tackle at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Vikings.
Side, he's looking for Hughes.
He's got
has the separation.
Touchdown!
Touchdown, Blue Devils.
Stop. And there's going to be a pick six. Indiana, touchdown.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Holy cow.
Football on ICRC. Coverage continues this week with some Week 7 action. Little Miami versus Milford and Harrison versus Mount Healthy. You're going to want to check those games out on ICRC TV.
Number 11, Finneytown, number 11.
As we're coming back from an injury delay for Finneytown.
It's like number 11, Finneytown. It's going to be out for Finneytown, getting looked at for an injury to her stomach, possibly to her ribs. Indian Hill is going to start back with the ball. Isfording is going to go over to Consolino. Looking around, trying to get around those Finneytown defenders. Finneytown trying to play up.
So Indian Hill still very controlling in this one, as it looks like they've controlled their second win of the season, improving their record to 2-5-4 if they can hold on to this one. 2-2-1 in the CHL. Isfording pass isn't able to get there. Finneytown dancing around now, and they're defending third, able to get it towards midfield. Isfording comes in and takes it. Leaves it off for Consolino. In the wing, cross to the middle. And off the leg, weird. Kept in the 18. Fires back. And just a little too far right to give Finneytown a goal kick.
Bunch of Braves enter the game. be a corner kick.
Looks like the Indian Hill Braves are gonna sub in some of their underclassmen, try to switch it up a little bit more. Put back in some of their starters as well. Just trying to keep a good mix in the field.
Corner kick for Indian Hill is going to be coming from Emerson Evans. Cross to the middle, headed out by Finneytown. A beautiful job. Cleared towards midfield. And Indian Hill, we've said it before, they've dominated all aspects of the game. And Finneytown, they do have 3 wins on the season, but they haven't showed up defensively today, and that hasn't been able to give them any kind of offense. Opportunity for Indian Hill, just too right. And tonight, this ICRC broadcast being shown through Indian Hill Television Network. The technical director, beautiful work today from Alex Rozakis, a student here. And they really run a great program here at Indian Hill and the Indian Hill Television Network. Covering a bunch of different games, getting out there, and that just shows the importance of media and arts in schools. Savannah and I, we're both part of this Mason Sports Radio program, NBC and Chronicle program over at Mason High School. Yeah, and it's nice to come out here and get a different perspective, see a different team than Mason for once. Indian Hill's dominating this game, but to get that experience in high school and to go to all those different games and all the different kind of job opportunities, whether that's announcing, whether that's camera operating, whether that's doing the technical side. Really nice job today from our buddy Alex.
Yeah, it's all very interesting, being around a lot of people, and you get to experience the game from a different perspective. When you're in the student section, you're kind of just cheering on, you're not really paying attention, you're talking to your friends, but when you're actually, reporting on the game and you're broadcasting, you get to learn new things, and you get to experience new opportunities, and it's a great opportunity.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to give back to some of those teams at your high school. Give them the promotion, give them the attention.
Yeah, like some of the teams, like the lacrosse team and the soccer team, they don't get the most talked about. Normally it's just kind of Friday night football in the fall and, men's basketball in the winter. But, it's good, and it's interesting to see, other teams getting coverage and being talked about. And, if they're getting covered, it draws people to it, and people, become more interested. The same as, writing a story for the school newspaper about something other than football. Like, people don't really notice it as much, but it's still part of the overall, school's culture and everything about it.
Yeah, we come from a couple of different places. We're both involved in sports radio, but you're also involved in the Chronicle. I'm involved in NBC. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the Chronicle at Mason High School?
You know, the Chronicle, it's an interesting experience. It's kind of, it's a big group, and almost half of our entire staff is just designers. We have to work on, you know, page layout, graphics, and everything. You get to talk to, you know, I write sports for the Chronicle, so I get to talk to, you know, the varsity head coach for football almost every other week, whether it's for a coverage story or for a story that we're doing for our, you know, our physical edition. And it's an interesting experience because, you know, there's people that I talk to when I'm covering football games, or I'm covering a soccer game, or I'm interviewing someone for lacrosse or basketball or whatever sport it is. I wouldn't really talk to them if it wasn't for, you know, the opportunity and getting to write on it. And I think I also I've learned to pay attention to different things that I wouldn't have to. Like when I'm in the stands some nights for Friday night football games, I won't even know what quarter it is. I'll pay attention to the score, but I think there's some times where you know, I'll be with my friends and then we'll all quiet down because it's they're having a rough part in the game or something, and I'm starting to pick up on, you know, different things that I normally wouldn't because I have to write about it, and that's an interesting experience, you know, in itself. And I know that for like NBC and stuff, when I've done a little bit with that, like, it's been an interesting experience. Like, what do you think about like, I know you've done like some mic'd up stuff with NBC, so like, how is the sports side of like that, and like, how is that affecting you?
NBC is a very good experience with multiple things, whether that's being in front of the camera or behind the camera or editing videos. What I really like about NBC is the variety of skills you can learn and take. I mean, you have a lot of freedom. It's the best combination of freedom and mentorship. Mr. Connor's been doing it at Mason for a long time. The supervisor for NBC Chronicle and Sports Radio. And Ali Samini's a great director. Amelia Guerin, Breck Pacchiola, Kennedy Rader all do a great job leading that class. So much talent in front of and behind the camera for NBC. And I'm going to talk about Indian Hill a little bit. I know they have their own weekly show. You know, NBC's monthly, but Indian Hill has their own weekly show. They also have a paper. So once again, it's that media and arts in the schools. It helps a lot of areas because it gets experience for the people involved in those classes, but that also leads to getting some of the student athletes more exposure and everything. So.
Yeah, because if you write because I know that like when you're in the newspaper, like, you're writing stories on kind of everything. You have to come up with new ideas like all the time. You have to think about a lot of different, you know, concepts and things, and it's hard stuff sometimes. It's stuff that, you know, like, that just isn't talked about, or it's stuff that that, you know, people are gonna like have trouble with. But it's hard finding the controversy and stuff when there might not be much there. And I think that, you know, working in a media program and getting that experience is good, and especially it exposes you to a lot of new people. You get to see, you know, you get to see faces every day, and you get to talk to people that you normally wouldn't, or you wouldn't outside of, you know, the circle of media or the paper or you know, whatever that creative outlet is. And I think that's an interesting combination, especially, you know, with who's your editors, you know, who's your directors, like who you're working with on that project or that day, or who's your photographer. Like, it's a collective team effort, and I think that, you know, you don't really pay attention to it as much as you like think you would, unless you see like a school that doesn't have that. And I think that part of what Indian Hill does well, it's especially like they value their academics, you know, extremely, and they don't put that much. They put a lot of pressure on their students, but it isn't to the point where they're trying to break them. They're trying to mentor them and teach them, you know, how they can succeed in life and what they can go on to further do.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in Mason and Indian Hill. Size probably isn't one of them. Mason's the biggest high school in the state of Ohio, and Indian Hill is one of the best schools in the state of Ohio. And both of us are very fortunate to have those programs that both of the schools have. Indian Hill looking to put their 9th goal in, unable to do so. Out of bounds, deflected by a Wildcat, sets up a corner kick for the Braves.
Number 4, Annie Isfording re-enters the game.
That Karis Ferretti had.
It's going to just miss it. It's going to be 8-0 for the Braves. 16:05 left in the clock here. You know, once again, I think this Indian Hill team, they work together really well. They communicate a lot. They have good relationships. You know, I see a lot of good sportsmanship here. They're not. You know, they haven't been unsportsmanlike. You know, towards Finneytown, even though they are up by 8. But you know, it's still. They're still giving it a lot of effort. They're still trying, even though they're switching up their lineup. They're putting in people who normally don't play. They're still communicating well and talking to one another.
So Indian Hill scored 7 in the first half and put the 8th one in within the first 5 minutes of the second half. But since then, null. 8-0 still the score. 15 minutes to go in the second half.
Seems like now what Indian Hill is trying to do is, because they have such good ball control and, you know, communication, they're really just working on what they can try to do to and that's going to be an attempt on goal. But they're looking to try to see what they can do to just run down the clock a little bit, maybe get a goal if they have time or if there's an opening. But they're not really pushing it too much. They're trying to keep it comfortably on the Finneytown side. You know, they're working on a lot of the skills that you normally think are undervalued, but it's helping them a lot this game.
I think it's important. I mean, Indian Hill doesn't have they don't have the widest variety between their best player and their worst player. That's why you see a lot of these best players still in the game, even though it's 8-0. Very even amount of playing time.
Looks like they're going to pass it up. Emerson Evans. And down. Finneytown's going to have the ball. It's going to be a turnover on Finneytown. Castellino. She's going to pass it over to Lindenberg. Just a lot of passing. They're going to pass it back to their goalie, Kira Erickson. They'll look upfield. Back to Castellino.
Finneytown today has really impressed me with their body language and their attitude. It's hard being down 8-0 and staying in this game and still playing 100% like they have all game.
Looks like a girl from Finneytown is going to go down to the ground. Doesn't seem to be the same one.
So another injury timeout here.
Looks like it's going to be her right knee.
Both teams will head off the field.
Giving her a little bit of space.
So we're going to take a break here for an injury timeout. Indian Hill hadn't scored in a while, but doesn't matter. 8-0 lead, 12 minutes to go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On air or online, this is media for your community. This is ICRC TV.
And nice to see injury timeout coming to an end and able to walk off with their own power. Unfortunate day all around for Finneytown. They trail by 8. 12:45 left to go. I'm Ben Haller alongside Savannah Libby.
Still a beautiful night for soccer. This Indian Hill team is still playing pretty well. You know, Finneytown with the ball. That's going to be McGar.
So they're going to get their free kick after the injury. Taken away once again by Indian Hill.
Gonna pass around, working on ball control. Finneytown defenders trying to get there. Can't quite.
Good job holding down the defense from Anna Joseph.
Looks like they're going to be moving it around. They pass it back to their goalie, Kira Erickson.
Erickson, we talked about, hasn't had a whole lot of work today. Boring day in the box for her. Finneytown not able to put a whole lot of attacks together.
Sporting. Gonna pass it to the backfield.